I heard the craziest story, you guys. I was like, woo, do I resonate with this in a very unique way? So I, of course, was on YouTube listening to different podcasts like we all do. And I came across this woman. Maybe she was in her late 30s, maybe early 40s, somewhere around there, mid to late 30s, early 40s, something like that. And she was talking about how her husband had two strokes, like back to back, like life altering, like where it was pretty much like it was looking like he was going to exit, like it was that bad. And what was wild about the woman is that she was like, all I could think about was my daughter having the same experience as me. And what she meant by that was she lost her father at a very, very young age. And so, hello, thank you. And so she lost her father at a really young age. And she was like, all I could think about was like my daughter growing up without a father, just like I did. And it was like the most excruciating, hard thing. And so as her husband was having all these medical issues, the bills were coming in, right? Like all these medical bills. I don't know if they had insurance or not. I don't recall that part of the story, but it just sounded like the medical bills were like really racking up. And she's like, how do I take care of my daughter, take care of my husband, but then like I'm seeing all these medical bills come in? And she just was like literally in tears, like talking about this. Like she just was like, what do I do? And she just went to work. Like, I guess she was like, she kind of went into the mode of like, there's no option. This has to get figured out. And me working at my job, like, I only can do so much. I have to pay for a babysitter, like all these things. So she finally figured out like, okay, well, how can I make money online? People are doing it. Okay. And so she ended up discovering digital products. And she was like, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what any limiting beliefs I have. I am going to make money online, period. So she ended up creating her own ebooks, her own other digital products, like just anything you can think of, right? And she was like, I will make $1 million this year. Like not even like in 5 years, she was like, I'm going for the gusto. I have to be able to, like, I don't have a choice because the bills are coming in. I have to take care of my daughter. I can't like keep going to this job. Like someone has to take care of both my daughter and my husband. So she just had like she was pulling from something very deep. And the reason why I said at the beginning of this conversation that me and you were having, the reason why I said I resonated with that was because I understand that. That's why I did not get a full-time job while I was watching my grandma, because you can't. Like when it comes down to family members and really figuring out how to navigate like full-time overtime caregiving, there's no such thing as like full-time caregiving. It's, if you're really about that life, it's automatically overtime. So overtime caregiving, and my mom was getting her master's and working full-time to take care of my grandma financially. So it's like when my mom was at work, it was like, who was going to watch my grandma? She had dementia. She could just walk out of the door and leave and get hit by a car. Like that almost happened actually, which I talk about in another video, which is crazy. So I resonated with the woman because I'm like, even though I'm nowhere near her circumstances as far as like a daughter and a very sick spouse, like I can't even imagine what that would be like going through that. But like you have to like, there's just other options out there, and it forces you to like figure out a solution. So she ended up discovering digital products, and she ended up making $1 million in 15 months. You guys can look it up. Just like type in some of the details of what I'm talking about, and the story will come up of this woman. And she uploaded it to a website. And again, if you just type in websites to add digital products to, like websites to sell digital products on, several will come up, right? Like there's a lot of good ones out there. I love the one that I use. It's so easy, because especially like the fact that I'm not techie, but she looked that up. She did her research. She uploaded her digital products and grinded it out and ended up selling making $1 million. And this is what people don't understand. So I'm going to be really on, like, just straight up with you guys. Okay. Once you pray and step out on faith, God will always take care of the rest. Exactly. That's what we talked about in the last conversation on live. Give God something to bless. Like, if you go for it, God's going to say, okay, this daughter or son of mine they're serious. They're very serious, right? So they are not messing around. They really want this. I'm gonna go ahead and bless what they're doing. I'm gonna put my hand on it, right? And so that's what she ended up doing. And let me know if it's too loud. I just turned on the air for a little bit just to kind of cool it down a little bit. But let me know if it's like blowing a little bit too loud. Okay. Okay, and you guys know you guys are my internet tribe friends, right? Like, we're in this all, like, trying to elevate together, trying to figure it out together. You guys are learning from me, I'm learning from you. Like, we're always in pursuit of embodying that next level together. Okay, I want to make that very clear. Like, I'm not like the leader and like know everything. Trust me, I know what I know, but I know that I also don't know very much, if that makes sense. Like, I know I always am a permanent student of life. So I'm going to keep it real with you because I really want you to kind of like wrap your head around this. So as you guys know, I'm talking about the course that I have to offer. Now, when people sell products, which is excellent as well, like physical products, that's fine. Okay. But you have to deal with shipping costs, physically dealing with the item, physically packaging it up, making sure that it doesn't show up damaged. Okay. And you have to deal with making it, whether it's like you maybe outsource it to a third party physically, and then you're physically, getting it into a warehouse or in your garage, either one, some kind of storage aspect to the whole process. And then you are, just, there's so many processes, right? When you do a digital product, it's 100% profit. Now, I say that a little loosely because I technically pay a couple cents to PayPal, and I pay a couple cents to the website that I'm using, because the website that I use to sell digital products is free. It's free. So the deal is that this website platform is like, you can use this platform for free, but either A, you can pay a subscription, or B, give us like a couple cents from each sale. So right now, that's what I do. So you can just start with, everything is zero cost. You can create a digital product on some kind of creative like app, like a Canva or whatever. There's so many out there. Google websites to upload digital products, and then all these things are free. Right now, there's different kinds of websites out there that you can use. Some of them are $10 a month, some of them are $50 a month, but there's a lot of them that are free. And of course, if you want more features, you have to like unlock. This one, the one that I use, there's no unlocking of features. Like, you get all the features. You just either choose between one of two deals with them, which I personally love, because, like, how with websites it's like, okay, well, you have to, like, well, if you want this ability with this module, you have to spend an extra $20, and then if you want this, then you're going to have to spend another $30, and then all of a sudden you're paying $150 for a website, which is still worth it, by the way. But like, if you are just starting out, so I love this for the mom that I was talking about, because, like, imagine she's already in debt. And then the debt is growing because her husband is still sick. So she's literally sitting there. And I'm imagining this because I know what it's like when you're taking care of a sick family member. There's times that they have to, like, sleep a lot, right? So you're sitting next to them, and maybe her daughter was doing homework, sitting on the ground doing homework. Her husband's in the hospital bed, maybe napping, right? Like, probably on a bunch of pain meds, napping. And then she's sitting there like, I can't rest. Like, what am I going to do? So she's sitting there going to work, right? While her husband's napping. Daughters, so they're all in the room together, and she's like, I don't have time to, like, go pick out a physical product and try to sell it, or make t-shirts, or make hats, or make, make arts and crafts. Like, I don't have time for that. She just had her laptop, her cell phone, and started going to creating, right? And lo and behold, $1 million later in 15 months, right? So again, that's an extreme. Like, she had a bigger purpose, but really you don't need to have this like grandiose reason where it's like life altering, but human nature that more than likely is part of the reason. And I think that's like, when I was taking care of my grandma, I was like, how do people that don't have the means that I did, that, me and my mom and my grandma did, as far as like our, the way that we had it set up, I was like, how do people do this? Like, what if they literally had to go to work? And I think I asked one of the hospice nurses one time, and I was like, what happens, like, if the elderly loved one that's obviously, has dementia, or is just elderly, right? What happens when no one can take care of them? And he was like, literally, they just get put on a government program and put into like a government facility. And we already know the deal, guys. I don't want to like bash any facilities, but the really like low to entry, government paid, subsidized type of places, they don't take care of you. They don't. But in this recorded video, love, she's wearing my favorite. Oh, blue. So you guys already know how it is. When something's on the government, you're getting the bare minimum, the bottom of the barrel. You're getting lowest, the lowest quality. I mean, again, I'm sure there's probably some decent ones out there, but like, he was like, yeah, like, what happens, he said that if a loved one can't get taken care of, either A, what ends up happening is they end up getting hurt anyway, and sadly passing away from like a broken hip, and then the broken hip leads to like something more vicious, and then it just like continues. He said, so usually there's some kind of bad fall or bad occurrence that happens because no one's watching them. There's no one to watch them. And then number two, they get put in like a government facility where there's low staff. And, I just was like, right? Like, my grandma's not going into one of those facilities. Now, we were thinking about putting her into a high quality paid facility. All of them were booked. My grandma was on a wait list for over 2 years for the quality ones, right? Makes sense because they're quality. So that was out. So I just like, me and my mom just like went hard and like did the journey with my mom, with my grandma. And so bottom line, guys, what I'm saying is like, I learned a lot because I was making money while I was sitting next to my grandma, taking care of my grandma with dementia. They got to a point where, you guys know how I talk about how I worked a lot of events in LA, and that's how I also would make money while being a caregiver. You guys, it got to a point where like the last year and a half, she was bedridden. So she couldn't walk, couldn't talk. She was blind, bedridden. Like, it was full care at that point. So I couldn't, the only way I could leave was when my mom could take over and watch her. And then sometimes, like very few times, my aunt would watch her, but that's it, right? And so I was like, if I didn't have like start to make funds online and start to figure that out, and in between my mom being able to have like some vacation days, and then I'd be able to work an event then, right? Now, in the early stages of my grandma's dementia, like very, very early, you can technically leave them. Like, she was functional, but then she started doing very, very like just very bizarre things that it was like dangerous, very dangerous. And so we were like, we can't, like, she has to be 100% watched at this point. So I'm like, and then it opened up my eyes to like even now, right? So my grandmother's transitioned. She's now with the Lord. And I was like, I really don't want to go back to like working a full-time job. Like, is this possible for me to like just continue to like figure it out and be a full-time online entrepreneur? And there's a lot of challenges, a lot of ups and downs. But I've learned so much, and I've done so much research because I was sitting next to my grandma for hours while she would be sleeping. We got to a point where she was in and out of sleep.